Okay. I messed up. I might be a little crooked. Let's see if I can fix my face. There we go. Okay. Okay. Let me see. Living in a fast life. I lost my voice around California. This test I hope I shall not fail. Herbie Jones. That's the book we were supposed to be reading. Y'all don't know how many times I read these first 3 pages, but it don't even matter. Like, comment, and subscribe. I don't even know. Because I thought about it. I don't do it for the people. I don't do it for myself. Fuck it. I'm gonna give you what the government allowed me to give you. Okay? Nothing more, nothing less. The spelling test. Chapter 1. Herbie Jones was an apple. That was the name of the lowest reading group in Miss Pinkham's 3rd grade class. Herbie hated the name. Maggie Sherman suggested it the first week of school. Unfortunately, there were 3 girls and 2 boys in the apples. The girls voted for apples and the boys, Herbie and his best friend Raymond, voted for cobras. Miss Pinkham was pleased apples won. Now it was March, and Herbie's group was still reading in the red book, the one with the suitcase on the cover. His teacher said the stories were about people going places. Herbie didn't think his group was going anywhere. Part of Herbie's problem was that he didn't care anymore. When he got worksheets and was asked to circle words with a short A, he circled them all. You must follow directions, Herbie, Miss Pinkerham scolded. Then she would stamp his paper with a monkey that said, you can do better. But Herbie didn't care. Monday morning was difficult, though. Miss Pinkham went to the backboard and wrote the words name, address, town, state, zip code. As a special bonus this week in spelling, I have a challenge for you. If you can learn to spell your name, address, town, state, and zip code correctly, I will mail you a postcard saying congratulations. Herbie sat up in class. He never studied his spelling words, but he liked the idea of a postcard going home. It would be good news for his dad to find in the mail. Mrs. Jones worked the night shift at Northeastern, a company that manufactured airplane seats. If a seat was okay, Mrs. Jones stamped inspected by 12 on it. The first thing he did when he got home around 7 a.m. was go to bed. The first thing he did when he got up around 2 p.m. was look in the mailbox. There's nothing but bills, he would say. Herbie wanted to do something about that. He looked over at his friend Raymond. He was frowning. Herbie knew why. Raymond lived on Wayne White Crescent, but Miss Pinkerham made it clear that it was a spelling bonus. Students didn't have to do it if they didn't want to. Herbie wanted to. Usually, Mrs. Jones would tack the week's spelling words onto the refrigerator with her magnet Birmingham iron. They're right here, Herbie. When you want to study them, she would say. Herbie never bothered. This week, he carried his list with him wherever he went. First, he practiced writing them on paper. Pound, sound, bound, hound, wound, found, round, mound. Herbie Jones, 1005 Washington Avenue, Lauren Woods, Connecticut, 06793. Then he wrote them in the sand in the park, Washington. He wrote them with his index finger in his mother's meatloaf before it went in the oven, Avenue. In the morning on the way to school, he wrote them on frosty car windows, Laura Woods. At home, Herbie practiced on the dusty coffee table, Connecticut. What are you doing? His sister Olive asked. She was 13 years old. Herbie called her Olive, and she hated that. To get even, Olivia usually called Herbie Herb, pronounced herb, as in the seasoning people put on their salad. Studying. Since when? Since I got my spelling list. How do you study spelling? Olivia sat down on the couch. You asking my advice about something? Well, do you make better grades than I do? Herbie, most people make better grades than you do. However, Olivia chose to take it as a compliment, and so she tried to be helpful. Well, Herb, she was careful not to say herb. I write them down, yeah, and I say them to myself, yeah. And that's about it. No biggie. What if you have a tough word like Laurel? I keep getting the A and the U mixed up, and I never remember which one comes first. The same thing happens with the O and the U in pound. Oh! Olivia stood up as she was about to begin an important lecture on studying techniques. In that case, you must think of something like apes use radishes for the UAUR in Laurel, and O unicorn for the OU in pound. Herbie stared at his sister. Then he did a backward flip on the rug, laughing. Apes use radishes. Oh, unicorn. Why didn't I think of that? So that's how you make it on the honor roll. Funny, Herb. You are Olive. Herbie continued laughing. When Friday came, Herbie decided to sacrifice his morning recess so he could study his words one more time. Usually he played gangway with the boys. They would join hands and crash in on the girls' jump rope games. This morning he sat in the corner of the play yard and wrote one more time in the gravel. 06793. At 11 o'clock, Miss Pinkham passed out the white line paper. Put your name and date on the first highway, she said. She always refers to the blue lands as highways. Herbie was a step ahead of her. He had done it. He thought about the hours he spent studying his words, and then he overheard Annabelle Louise Hockey Kiss whisper to Margie Sharpen, I didn't even have to study. These words are a clinch. Herbie grinned his teeth. What a pain Annabelle could be. And she had the easiest street to spell, too. Fish Street. Annabelle was in the highest reading group, the Wizards. They were 2 books ahead of Herbie's group. She always used her own pencils instead of the school's. Hers had gold initials on them. ALH. Now, boys and girls, the first word is pound. Spell it, please, on the third highway. You want to space your words for neatness. Herbie remembered O unicorn and wrote POUND. He did that for the rest of the regular words. Those of you who want to try for the spelling bonus may do so now. Your full name, address, town, state, and zip code. Very carefully, Herbie printed his first and last name. Then he printed his street address. He even double-checked to make sure the I was dotted in Washington and that he remembered to capitalize Avenue. When he came to Laurel Woods, Connecticut, he smiled. Apes use radishes, he said to himself, and wrote his town and state correctly. When he came to the zip code, Herbie was in trouble. 0679. He couldn't remember the last number of the zip code. Pass your papers in, please, Miss Pinkerham ordered. Herbie panicked. The children passed in their papers. Herbie, you're keeping the entire class. What was that number? Herbie thought and thought. He thought so hard, his brain thawed. Miss Pinkerham stood before him now, with her hands on her hips. Herbie Jones, if you don't hand me your paper by the time I count to 3, you'll be here at the school. 3! That was it! Herbie printed 3 at the end of his zip code. Sorry, Miss Pinkerham. Here's my paper. Annabelle and Maggie giggled. Then Annabelle raised her hand. How do we know who got it all correct? Annabelle didn't think she could wait a whole weekend to find out about her 100. The person would find a postcard from me in his mailbox tomorrow. Annabelle beamed. She felt confident. Herbie crossed his fingers under his desk. He couldn't remember if he capitalized Connecticut. Will you tell us before 3 o'clock who'll be getting the postcard? John Greenweed asked. He was a wizard like Annabelle. No, and looking through this mess of papers right now, I wonder if anyone will get 100. There are so many careless errors. That night, Herbie lay in bed thinking about the mailman. It usually came about around 1:45, so shortly before his dad would wake up. Herbie decided to say a real prayer, the kind where he kneeled down at the foot of his bed and bowed his head. Dear God, if it's in your plan, Herbie learned in Sunday school that God had a plan for everyone. I would sure like to be one of those people who got a postcard in the mail tomorrow. I want to ask if I didn't study real hard. Bless Mom, Dad, and Olive, and me. Herbie crawled into bed and fell asleep. Saturday afternoon, Herbie sat waiting on the porch. He ate his lunch on the steps and continued to wait until 1:45 when the mailman was coming down the street. Herbie raced into the house and watched him from behind the curtain. As Herbie crooks his neck to see what the mailman was dropping into the mailbox, he heard his dad's voice. Guess I better check on the mail. Herbie sat down casually in the green chair and picked up the book on the coffee table. 10 Days of Slimmer Thighs. He flipped through the pages and pretended to be interested. Mr. Jones, who had just shaved, walked toward the door. Herbie looked up and noticed he still had some soap around his ears. Morning, Herbie. Nice to see you reading. Morning, Dad. Herbie waited while Mr. Jones opened the door and gathered the mail in the doorway. Telephone company, whistling man's department store, occupant, and then there was a brief silence. Hey, Herbie, your teacher says you were the only student to get 100% on your spelling bonus. Herbie jumped in the air shouting, Yahoo! That was the best news I found in the mail in a long time. Come over here, spelling champ. Herbie ran to his dad's arms and they hugged like bears. Oh. So, who got the postcard? Annabelle Louisiana Hodgedale asked Monday morning, right after the Pledge of Allegiance. I forgot to capitalize Connecticut, she said as she looked at her return paper. Herbie hadn't told Raymond that he had gotten the postcard. He wanted to surprise him in class. Miss Peakham tapped her desk with a pencil. Will the person who received the one and only postcard please rise? Herbie waited a moment and then stood up. But he's an apple, John Greenwood spoke out. Herbie deserves a big round of applause for his achievement, Miss Pinkham said with a beaming smile. Herbie's paper Friday was outstanding. Everyone stood up and applauded Herbie. Even Annabelle Louise Hodgkiss, who was used to being first in just about everything. On the way home from school, Raymond patted his friend on the back. You're tough, Herbie Jones, real tough. Tomorrow I bet you'll be in a new reading group. Come on, Raymond. One spelling test doesn't make that much difference. The thought, though, of not being an apple anymore sure pleased Herbie. Well, it's a matter of time. A matter of time for both of us, Herbie. I got my plans, too. First, I have to buy a new pen, though. See you. That was cute. Let me see. Okay, I can do y'all 2 chapters. Annabelle's Party, Chapter 2. How do you spell surprise? I forgot. Is there a S or a Z? You asking me? Herbie looked up at his sister. Aren't you the greatest spelling champ at school? Well, Herbie put his comic book down. Surprise? Herbie put his hands behind his back and walked back and forth. You spell it S. Go on. Sirpries. There is no Z in it, Herbie said confidently. Yeah, thanks, Irv. You're one in a million. Feel free to ask me any word, Olive. Olivia went into the kitchen where her mother was stocking the cupboard with canned food. How do you spell surprise, Mom? Herbie knew he'd been close. The phone rang, so Herbie picked it up. Hello? 0030? Herbie kept the phone and whispered, Yeah, just a minute, 992. Herbie moved the phone cord through the dining room and into the pantry off the kitchen. When he closed the door, a rack of irons fell on him. What's that? Raymond asked. Nothing, 992. Just a bunch of irons, huh? Never mind. What's so important that we have to use code language? You're getting an invitation to Annabelle Louise Hodgkiss' birthday party. Herbie sat down on 2 irons. You gotta be kidding. Nope. I was at Mr. D's store and I heard Annabelle tell her mother that she needed 9 invitations this year because she wanted to invite you to her birthday. Where are you? Behind the magic markers. I wanted to find a purple one. Her mother was mad too because she had to buy another package of invitations. They only come 8 to a package. Man, why do you suppose she wants me to come? Well, you're the spelling champ and all. Really? Harry picked up the 2 irons he had been sitting on and started juggling them in the air. I wish people forget all about that. Now I feel like I have to get 100 every Friday, especially when Dad likes to see my spelling test as soon as I get home. That's deadly. Hey, Herbie, I was thinking, do you suppose Annabelle might use a few of those extra invitations? Maybe. If she does, I bet she invites me too. She knows I'm your best friend. Herbie rolled the iron across the floor. I don't know what's so hot about going to Annabelle's dumb birthday party. This will be fun. It'll be fun, little boy. Go have fun. She's a wizard and the smartest girl in the whole class. All the wizards will be at her party, except Philip. Annabelle doesn't like him because he picks his nose. Herbie laughed, but he questioned Wayman about it. So what? So they're all the teacher's pet. We go to this party and bingo, we'll be teacher's pets too. Herbie changed the subject. Why did you buy a purple magic marker? It's for Miss Pinkham. Huh? Just a little gift for me. I thought she might like to use it when she corrects paper. Nothing wrong with a little buttering up now and then. Herbie stood up. Raymond, she don't correct papers with a purple pen. She uses a red one. Oh, besides that stuff goes through the paper onto the other side. Well, she could use it to color in grapes and plums. I don't think so, Ray. You better think of something else to do with it. Yeah, you're probably right. I gotta go now. See you, Herbie. The next morning at school, the invitation was on top of Herbie's desk. He opened up the yellow envelope. There were bananas on the outside of the card. Inside it said, "Come join the bunch. When? Saturday, March 10th. Time, 11 to 2. Lunch. Where? 322 Fifth Street. Who? Annabelle Louise Hotchkiss. What birthday party? RSVP." At noontime, Raymond nudged Herbie. Annabelle must have used up all those extras in the second package because both Philip McDougal and I got one. Herbie carried his tray of spaghetti over to the table. Raymond followed him. "Think you can go?" he asked. "Probably. I'm glad it's for lunch." "That means there's going to be lots of stuff to eat besides cake and ice cream," Raymond said with his mouth full. Herbie took his invitation out. "What does RSVP mean?" Raymond scratched his head. "I'll go ask one of my sixth grade friends. Just a minute." Herbie watched as Raymond walked over to a table where a lot of older boys were eating and laughing. He didn't realize Ray knew those guys. Ray sat down again and slurped some milk. RSVP means remove shoes very promptly. She probably has a very neat house. Herbie frowned. "They told you that?" "Well, they say they consider me one of the guys. That's why they told me what it meant." Yeah. Raymond took another bite of spaghetti. "What are you going to get Annabelle for a present? My mom usually puts $2 in a card." Ray made a sneaky smile. "Maybe you should give Annabelle something of yours that's nice, and then keep the money yourself. You might need it sometimes." Herbie shook his head. The idea wasn't bad, though. He'll have to think about it. Annabelle's house was around the corner from Herbie's. The big white one with green framed windows. A semi-cat sat on the porch. He didn't look very friendly. "Hello, Herbie. I'm glad you could come." Miss Hodgkins smiled from ear to ear. She also had a tray of potato chips and some green stuff in a bowl. She said it was just guacamole dip. Herbie took off his shoes and went into the living room. He was glad when he saw Raymond sitting on the couch. He went over and sat next to him. He noticed he and Raymond were the only ones with their shoes off. "Guess we're the smartest guys here," Raymond whispered. Herbie looked at the bowl of guacamole dip on the coffee table. "What's this?" "Smashed green stuff with lemon juice. You're supposed to put it on the potato chips. Try one." Herbie did. It was tasty. "I can't eat that green stuff myself," Raymond whispered. "It reminds me of you know what," and he pointed to his nose. Suddenly, Herbie changed his mind about the guacamole dip. He couldn't finish it. "Thanks, pal." Herbie looked around for a good hiding place, his napkin. Herbie folded the leftover dip in the napkin and put it on the couch next to him for a minute. "Hi, Herbie." It was Annabelle. "Happy birthday," Herbie said. She looked pretty in a pink Clifton dress. It ruffled when she moved, and her thick reddish-brown hair was pinned up in two barrettes that had rainbows painted on them. "Is the seat taken?" Before Herbie could say anything, Annabelle sat down next to him. Squish. Annabelle looked slightly embarrassed. "Nice party." Herbie smiled. Miss Hotchkiss came into the room with a poncho on. "Time to eat." Everyone stampede to the dining room. Herbie followed Annabelle in. She had a small green stain right there. Raymond leaned over and whispered in Herbie's ear, "No one will know who did it. You're safe." Herbie had to agree. The table was amazing. Mrs. Hotchkiss had prepared a Mexican theme, and there were 7 bowls of fixings for tacos. Hamburgers, shredded cheese, lettuce, tomatoes, olives, hot sauce, and diced carrots. In the center was a sombrero, which turned upside down and used as a vase. Daisies was stuck in the middle of it. On a nearby wall, there was even a big poster of a bull in the words, Viva Mexico. Dig in, kids, Miss Hodgkins insisted. Herbie looked for his place card. Raymond found his next to Maggie's. Herbie's was next to Annabelle. He noticed John Greenweed sat on the other side of Annabelle. A typical girl-boy party, Herbie thought. In 20 minutes, all the boys were scraped clean except for the one with carrots in it. John Greenweed bragged about putting the most hot sauce on his taco, but he never finished his. It just sat on his plate. Herbie thought that was funny. When Miss Hodgkins brought in the gifts, she cleared a space in front of Annabelle for them. We'll have the cake and ice cream a little later. I bet everyone is just too full. Most of the kids looked disappointed. Annabelle opened Margie's gift first. Oh, it's lovely. Thank you so much. I didn't have any more sanitary to write with. Now I do. She passed the box to Herbie. He took a quick look at the princess and the cat in the bottom corner. Nice job, John, Annabelle noted. She unwrapped the present slowly. When she saw the costume, she started to giggle. All the girls shrieked. It was a flower, t-shirt, and panties. Miss Hodgkins snapped a picture. You should tell she loved it, Herbie thought. It was just the kind of present John would give. Ray's gift was next. A purple pen. How nice. Thank you, Raymond. Annabelle made a frown in Margie's direction, then picked another gift from the pile. For some reason or another, Herbie's gift was the last to be opened. The only thing he told Raymond was that he found something educational in his house to give to her, and that he had pocketed the $2. Geez, it's heavy, Herbie, Annabelle said as she unwrapped the foil. Everyone leaned over to see what the roundest present might be. When the last piece of aluminum foil was unwrapped, Annabelle looked half dazed. A can of pink salmon? Herbie beamed. We've been studying Alaska in class. I thought you might like to have some food from there. Herbie didn't think his mom would miss it. He remembered the can had been on the shelf for a long time. Pink salmon? Annabelle repeated like with a sour look. Why don't you open up the can? Let's see what's inside, Ray prodded. There's a pink salmon in there, nerd-faced, John said flatly. Maybe it's alive, Raymond asked. Oh, sure, Ray. The salmon is probably swimming around that can right now. John hit the can in his ear. I hear something. It sounds like an ocean. That's enough, John. Actually, Annabelle admitted, I've never seen a pink salmon. Mom, would you get a can opener so we can look at it? Miss Hodgkins seemed very uncomfortable with the suggestion. Now, dear? Sure. How many people want to see the pink salmon looks like? Everyone's hand went up except John Greenweed's. Majority rules. Mom, where's the can opener? Miss Hodgkins returned shortly and opened up the can and reluctantly. Unusual gift, Herbie, she said with a strange smile. After it opened, the smell of fish wafted through the dining room. Margie hurt her nose. John yelled, Yuck! Herbie had forgotten how strong the smell of pink salmon was. It reminded him of cat food. Look at all the little black things and tiny bones in it, Amanda said as she passed the can around. When it came to Raymond, he turned green. As green as the guacamole dip, Herbie thought. And then Raymond launched it all on the tablecloth. Ah! Maggie screamed. Raymond barfed! Miss Hodgkins ran for some towels. Everyone else ran screeching into the living room, except Herbie, Raymond, and John. There's yellow broth all over the curry dish and yellow bar floating in Margie's water glass, John called out. Philip crackled and Margie screamed. Herbie shook his head. Are you okay, Ray? He handed him a napkin. I'm fine, just fine. Really? I just do that once in a while when... I know what you mean, Herbie interrupted. Not really want to hear Ray talk about it. Miss Hodgkins quickly scratched the table with soapy water and muttered some words under her breath. 10 minutes later, when most of the laughter and screaming subsided, Miss Hodgkins called everyone back to the table. Sometimes these things just happen, she said with a pained smile. Let's have some birthday cake now. When all the children saw it, there was a big silence. The cake had yellow icing. And everyone was thinking the same thing. The only one who finished a piece of cake was Raymond. So leave a like, leave a comment, and all that down in the bottom. Because you know you want to. You know you want to. Why not?